thank you so much for all of your time today. I'm so excited to be chatting with you. And of course,
Thank you.
I am repping my own Vance Refrigeration shirt. I told you I'm a very big fan of your work. So again, congratulations on everything.
Well, thank you, Alexis. I'm curious. You said that Bob Vance was your favorite. Why?
Every time he comes in any of the episodes, your character really just brings such a big smile to my face, my mom, my grandmother. We always get so excited seeing you. It's just your phenomenal husband to Phyllis, and every scene that you're in is just so much fun, full of great laughter from your wedding scenes, and my favorite scene, which is the whole boom roasted and you auctioned off a hug for Phyllis. It was just such a sweet and touching and special moment. So any scene that you're in is just like so heartwarming, and we love it.
Thank you. So your family is a fan of true love. That's what you're saying. Well, I'm glad you get that because that's all I did was love Phyllis, and so that was very easy to do.
That is so amazing. Well, thank you for all of the work that you've put into such a remarkable show. But first off, can you tell us what inspired you to focus your life around acting?
Well, I took classes. I went to school. I learned how to act. I went to a famous teacher named Peggy Fury. She taught Stanislavski method, which is method acting. And we were essentially theater actors. Nick Cage, Meg Ryan, Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm name dropping, but those were some of my classmates.
Very cool.
And it was very competitive, and we really had to learn how to act. So, there's a great difference in the world of acting. There's Anthony Hopkins, and there's Flava Flav. So, I mean, there's degrees of skill. So.
Fantastic. Now, of course, we have to talk about your iconic work in The Office as none other than Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration. So do you have a favorite memory that sticks out to you the most from working on the show?
Oh, there were so many. I remember when Phyllis and I got married and we were standing outside the chapel and everyone was gathered around, and they had just pulled up in my Vance Refrigeration van, and it was the first time I'd seen the logo. And so I fell in love with the penguin right there and then. And Phyllis and she whispered to me, because everybody's been kind of rowdy. And she said, I don't want this to end. And I said, well, we'll always have it on video. It'll live forever. Don't worry. This is, the fun part of making film and television is not so much the watching of it. It's always the making of it that is special.
Yes, and I absolutely love the camaraderie all of the castmates have with one another. You guys have created a family both on screen but off screen as well. Now, fans all over the world love Bob Vance, from him being a phenomenal husband to his great self-promotion. Now, what was your favorite part about playing this awesome character?
Well, it wasn't that tricky. Like I said, really every scene that Bob's in, he makes it's always all about Phyllis. So really what I was after, and I told her when we were shooting Casino Night that we needed to go for first love, because when you're in that state of first love, you never think about anybody else. You don't see anybody else. There's no one else. And so that's always what's going on with Bob and Phyllis. Also, he was the United States Marine Corps infantry officer in Vietnam. So that really set the tone for me, because there's a certain way that a Marine officer carries himself and handles himself, obviously, and that never goes away. Marines are always Marines. That if you ever say, "Oh, you're an ex-Marine," a Marine will tell you, "No, I'm a retired Marine." They're never an ex-Marine. Once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. And also the salesman aspect of Bob. Bob is promoting the business, obviously, whenever they say Vance Refrigeration. So that energy that a salesman has, I had witnessed that with my uncles, and I'd done some sailing myself. So I realized the projection that needs to happen. Also, I wanted Bob to have a certain energy that nobody else in the cast had. You know, he's not lethargic. He's his own man. So he doesn't have bosses. He is the boss. So that guy, you know, a self-made man, not working for other people, and a successful self-made man, a guy who can spend $1,000 on a hug just to slap Michael Scott with the big boy wallet. You know, Bob and Goodbye Toby. Bob funds the best party that the office ever has. He brings in the carnival. I mean, he paid for that whole thing. That's Bob. So, you know, throwing money around to spoil Phyllis is always good.
Yes, your character is just absolutely incredible. Again, he brings so much fun to the show, but anytime that we see you, it just really puts such a big smile on all of our faces. So again, you captured his character and brought his essence to life in such a spectacular way. Now, do you have a favorite episode that you've worked on from the show?
Well, of course, it's Phyllis's wedding. I mean, what else would it be but Phyllis's wedding? That's the apex moment for a couple. So that's the apex episode for me. I saw it for the first time in years the other morning. It was playing on Comedy Central, and I watched it, and I was like, man, this really holds up. This is really great. It had a real depth of emotion that I'd forgotten from the music and the piece and the Jim Pam thing that's going on. And, you know, the fact that Phyllis stole the wedding. It's too funny. Too funny. And then when the preacher says, and do you, Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration, take Phyllis. So that's good, clean fun. Also, again, when that episode aired, Greg Daniels had a viewing party at his house and invited the whole cast over. And so it was a party for that episode. And Harold Ramis, the funny actor director, was there, and I was killing him. So that was great because you know, he's a judge of comedy, and when Bob says to Michael, "If you ever lay a finger on Phyllis, I'll kill you," you know, that moment, Ramis lost it, and you know, it was a big hit in the room. So in that show, you're always trying to make the other cast members laugh, and so you know, we achieved that.
That is so brilliant. Now, if you could see a spin-off series happen about Bob Vance, what would you like it to be about?
You know, NBC said, well, they want to make a sequel or another Office. That's what they say. It would be obvious. It would be Vance Refrigeration, and all the people that used to work at the office would be working for me now. So
I love
it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You'd have at least 10 members from the, you know, Oscar and Kevin and, you know, on and on. And then you'd have your new Vance Refrigeration employees, right? So, I mean, there it is. Maybe I should write it.
You should. I would love to see that. Well, that actually leads to a question that I was going to ask in a little bit. Now, if you could hire 2 other employees / characters from The Office to join the Vance Refrigeration team, who would be like your first 2 hires?
Well, Daryl would be A1. And of course, Phyllis, I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we're assuming Phyllis, right? And Oscar. Although I'm a Creed, you know, I like Creed. You know, Creed can entertain you with his music.
Absolutely. That's so great. You also worked on a film where your character is a whole lot different from Bob Vance. Tell us what it was like working on that movie.
Are you referring to Dickster?
Absolutely.
Let's just hold this up. There he is. There he is.
Dickster. A lot different from Bob Vance.
Well, yeah. I mean, although the experience of Bob Vance is why I made Dickster, because it's a mockumentary. I was actually making that movie for just the people who I worked with on The Office. I was like, here, I'll show you how to make a mockumentary. Because what I did was I was always interested in farce pace. And so Dickster is fast, 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 fast. It never slows down. And really, that was the secret because we were working with minimal sets and et cetera. So really, it came down to, again, the acting. So that's why I had great actors in that movie, and it was such a joy to do it because it's my movie, and it's really a reflection of 35 years in Hollywood because I've worked with so many independent film directors. Most of my movies are independent films, and they're dreamers. So that's kind of what Dickster is, even though he's a monster. But I wanted to show how absurd, these people are in Hollywood, and Dick is absurd. But it takes a certain discipline to do something that's so ridiculous yet make it seem realistic, right? So that's what we were going for.
Amazing. Now, you have portrayed a countless amount of different characters. What would be your dream role to portray?
Oh, I don't know. Anything, any Clint Eastwood movie. I like the one-liners, the tough guy one-liners. My heroes were Lee Marvin and Robert Mitchum and John Wayne and, great American leading men who were tough guys. And that stuff I like.
Very nice. Yeah, I love Bob Vance's one-liners where Phyllis would be like, you know what, I'm going to go and call Bob on you during the Christmas episode, and he comes in. So it's fun seeing that. But we're going to do a very quick speed round. Are you ready for it?
Absolutely.
Great. So we always see members of the office stop by the break room and get a snack from the vending machine. What would be your favorite vending machine snack?
Dr. Pepper. My
Yeah.
snack, Cheetos.
Ooh, yeah. Cheetos and Dr. Pepper. That's a good team.
Yeah. Or peanuts. I like peanuts.
Ooh, very cool. Now, what about your favorite movie?
Well, Casablanca, obviously. I love that. I like a Robert Duvall movie, Tender Mercies. I usually only watch movies one time. I'm not one of these people that watch movies over and over. I like to watch them once, and then, years later, I'll take a look at them. I really have favorites. I like movies that when I watch them, I'm not thinking about the technical aspects, or I'm not, writing it in my head, or I'm not calling the next shot or the next cut. Those are problems with being in the business where you watch things technically, but there are occasional movies where I'm swept away in the storytelling, and that's what I like best.
Amazing. And who is an actor or actress you'd like to work with in a future project?
Wow. Well, I'd like to work with Robert Duvall. I met him once. It was great because he was doing the tango, and he's an amazing tango dancer. And so I bought him a beer, and we talked about movies for a while. So that was fun. But I'd like to work with him. Pacino. Nicholson. All those guys. They're interesting. They're minimalist. I don't think you realize how grounded you have to be to work with guys like that. I like when I'm nervous before I go shoot with someone, the night before, and I think, okay, be ready, have your A game. I've never embarrassed myself though, so.
That is so amazing. Well, I would definitely love to see that happen. That would be all of the great actors together. And that's such a special moment you had with Robert Duvall. He's definitely one of my favorite actors as well. So I would love to see you guys work together one day.
Yeah, there's a monologue he does in Tender Mercies where he talks about his daughter dying, and he's out working in the garden, and it's 2.5 minutes of the greatest acting you'll ever see. And of course, they gave him the Oscar that year for that movie.
Amazing. Well, you did such a fantastic job on that speed round. But if you could bring out a message, Robert, to all of your fans, what message would that be?
Thank you for watching, and maybe we'll hopefully entertain you again soon.
Well, it was so wonderful speaking with you. Every time I binge watch The Office over and over again, I always get so elated to see you on my screen, and I love watching you in all of your projects. So congratulations to you again, and thank you for making such a great impact on the lives of so many viewers.
Oh, that's awesome for you to say that. You know, it's really a blessing to be able to, you know, if I give somebody a comment on Instagram or Facebook, it makes their day. That's a great blessing to be able to do that. You know, so thank you to all the fans for appreciating the work. It means a lot.